Hello, this is Gary Simon of DesignCourse.com, and today is January 11th, and we have our 11th video of the year, so that's good. And we're going to be focusing on designing a mobile app. So this is going to be for a fictional weather app, and we're just going to design one screen so you can get your feet wet with mobile app design if you've never done it. And then we're also going to place the final design in a prospective 3D iPhone 5. So as always, you can download the project files for free in the link below the video. And also, at the time of recording this, I don't yet have a mobile app design course and certification course, but you can go to designcourse.com and put in your email if it's not up yet. But if you're viewing this maybe 3 months, 4 months, a year down the road, it may be up already, and you can definitely check that out for a more robust course. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, or you're going to want to do, is download the project files, which is in the link below this video, and open up the apptemplate.psd. So we have the status bar up here, which is in its own group, and then just the background layer right here. So we have this background portion to work with for our weather app. Okay, so the second thing you're going to want to do is just go to File, Open, and open up the rain.png. So this is a very large image. Hit Control A and Control C to copy, and then close that out, and then Control V to paste in, and then move to the Move tool and hit Control T, and then hold Shift with Alt and scale that down by quite a bit. So I'm gonna go maybe around there, and then I'm going to go ahead up here in the layer blend modes and hit the down arrow key. And I think screen works well, and then we're going to take the opacity down quite a bit. Okay, so this is going to signify that it's currently raining. So if you were to have the app developer, when you provide them with the assets, you would obviously provide them with multiple, basically, one for sunny and one for cloudy and rain here, of course. So we're going to do a screen that would, basically be the interface for a rainy day. All right, so now that we have that ready to go, the next thing I want to do is up here, I'm going to have the location, and then the temperature, and then rainy/cloud and an icon. So let's get started with that. The first thing I'm going to do is just put in here with the type tool 72. So I'm going to scale this up a lot. I'm going to change to Source Sans Pro. Well, it already is, but I'm going to change it to extra light. And that font is linked in the description of this video. And I want it to be a little bit smaller. I may be tinkering around with this because I'm just kind of eyeballing it. And then I want to do the little circle degree thing. So I'm going to zoom up here. We'll go to 100%. And take the ellipse tool and hold Shift. Well, you don't have to hold Shift. Well, yeah, Shift and Alt will get you right there. Okay. And then we're going to take the direct selection tool over here in this window that pops up, or up here. We're going to get rid of the foreground, or the fill rather, and we're going to give it a white. Let's try 1 pixel. I may put 0.8 there. All right. And then we can move this up as needed. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to zoom out. Okay, and then also if you go back to the Move tool, whichever layer you're currently on, if you need to move that around, you can use your up and down arrow keys. All right, so I'm going to take those two right away and rename this to degree. And I'm going to hit Control G. And we're just going to call this temperature. So I want everything to be organized in layer groups here. We'll just call this rain. All right, so now we can move on. Basically over here to the right, I'm going to have a water, or like basically water drop icon. So what we're going to do is zoom up here to 100%, and you can always hit Control 1 to get there automatically. We're going to go to View, Show, Grid, and then view, make sure snap to grid is on. All right, I'm going to zoom up one more time. I'm going to take the shape tool, or the pen tool with shape selected rather, and I'm going to click up there once, and then click down here and hold, and just drag out right around there. All right, so then what I want to do is duplicate that layer. So right click and duplicate. Go to edit transform, flip horizontal. We'll move that over right there. And with the direct selection tool, apply, hit Control C to copy. We're going to delete that layer and then Control V to paste. So that pastes on a layer and it all becomes one single layer, basically a shape layer. All right, so then what we want to do is right click, we'll duplicate that again, and I'm going to move it right here. I'm going to temporarily just change the color to the background, so double click on there to get the color picker up. And then I'm going to duplicate this layer, the bottom white one again, and move it up. And then I'm going to play around with these to get this organized how I want to. So it's basically just an illustration showing two water drops, or an icon rather. And that's, I'm not sure if you heard that. My wife is still sick, coughing her lungs out downstairs with pneumonia. All right. All right, so I think that's pretty good. We'll leave it there. So now what we want to do, I'm going to hide this top layer. And then for this layer, I'm going to hit Control C after selecting the direct selection tool. I'm going to delete this. And then I'm going to, with shape 1, which is our original water drop layer, Control V to paste. And then up here, we're going to go to subtract front shape. All right, so then we can bring this back up. And now this middle portion, if we take both of these layers, move them around, you'll see that it is transparent, which is what we want. Okay, so I'm going to leave this right around here. I'm going to go ahead and go to turning off the grid and then also turn off snap. All right. Now what I want to do is take both of these layers and then hit Control E to merge those. We'll just call this drops. And if I Control T and, oops, wait, one thing we want to do before we try to scale it is take the direct selection tool and then just select all of them. And then we can go back, select the move tool, hit Control T and scale this down. Hit apply. All right, that looks to be right around the size that I want it to be. And then over here, I'm going to type in rain and cloudy. All right, and then hit Control T and select the move tool, hit apply, and we're going to get up the characters. Go to Windows, Character Panel, and then change this to Auto. All right, so I'm going to zoom out here a couple times just to see what this looks like. The font's too thin when it's that small, so I want to change this to light. And get everything moved here. And I may scale down this group just a tad bit. All right, so far so good. All right, so now what I want to do is create the little location icon up here. So I'm just going to type in Cleveland OH. Scale that up just a bit. We don't want it to be as big as this text. And I may change this from light to regular. All right. And basically, I'm going to have a silhouette of the state. So this would be Ohio. And I'm going to just use Google Images. And I'm off screen here typing this in. And you can do the same thing. You can use any state you want. And so I'm just going to try to find a map of the state and then copy that image, paste it in. So I found one here. I'm just going to scale that down. And then just very, very quickly, I'm going to use the pen tool to go around this. And I don't have to be perfect because the icon is going to be so small. So you can see I'm just kind of going real fast. And let me go like this so I can see what's going on. Hitting Control Z, you know, I'm just letting myself be able to see what's beneath that. All right, and then we'll delete that layer. Take this, scale that down a lot, maybe even more. Select the Move tool, hit Apply. All right, that looks pretty good. So now if I go ahead and zoom out, all right, that looks pretty good. One change I'm going to make is I want this to stand out with color. So I'm going to select that 72 layer and somewhere right around there. So the color code's right here, DCA 966, and I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to take the degree. We're going to select the direct selection tool, click on this little icon, and paste that in. And you can hit Control H to get rid of those outlines. All right, so we're 10 minutes in. We have the top portion done, so we're moving along good. Down here, I just kind of came up with a random idea as a way to kind of illustrate the temperature that's going to be throughout the day. So what I want to do is take the ellipse tool. Oh, first of all, I want to take these layers before we continue and group them up appropriately. So I'm going to take Move tool with layer selected, auto select, take these two layers, and I'll name that to state. We'll hit group, call this location. All right, so we have temperature already, and then we have rain, cloudy, and drops. Okay, so we're going to hit Control G, and we'll just call this, I don't know, I'll just call it rain, cloudy, whatever it is. All right, so now what I want to do, I'm going to create a new layer at the top here. Go ahead and take that ellipse tool, hold shift and scale up right around here. All right. Then I want to take the direct selection tool, get rid of the fill, come over here, give it a fill, make it white, and I'd say 1.5 or so for that. All right, so basically it's going to emulate kind of like a clock. So I want 12 up here, and we want that to be quite a bit bigger, although not too big. And I'm going to use just Arial for this. I'm going to make it white. For the size, I'm going to go down to 6 points and leave it right around here. And then I'm going to duplicate that. And you should set up a shortcut for duplicate because we do it so often. And I need to fix mine because my screen recording software uses it. So whenever I try to use that shortcut, it tries to do something else with the application. So I need to fix that. And so obviously I'm just duplicating these, moving these around, changing it to the actual times. Oops. Move this over here. 9. And just real quickly to visualize if these are on the same path, this needs moved up about 2 pixels. And we want this to be evenly spaced. All right. So now what I want to do, we'll say, for example, the current time is, and the current time would be displayed up here. We'll just say it's like 4:30. So it would be in this section where we could have the degree. So take this auto select group, we'll select on here, we'll duplicate that. We'll drag it up here, then we'll drag it down here. Control T and scale that down, holding Shift and Alt, and then move and apply. All right. And then what I want to do is take the type tool, select that layer. We'll change it to regular. And I'll take that degree and we'll take down that, change that to 0.4 for for the stroke. All right, and then finally we can right click and duplicate that. We'll duplicate this a few times, just 3 more times. And I want these ones to be light. And I want to change them to white. Same thing with this degree. Oops. Come over here. Change that to white. And then take the group itself and take the opacity down a little bit. And you know what? I do want to make one more change. We'll go back to 72 and change this to extra light. All right. So the opacity is at 60% here. And I'm going to change it so, throughout the day, the hottest is usually around, obviously 12 to 3. So then it starts to cool down. So we'll say 67. Duplicate that group. Shift and move up. Right around there. And then we'll say 55. And then we will duplicate this again. And we'll say 70. All right. And then finally, just to illustrate that this section is currently, the time frame that we're looking at, we can go ahead and find that layer, which is ellipse 1, and I'll just call this circle time. And Control-Shift-N and create a clipping mask. Hit OK. And then we'll take the rectangle tool, and then we'll change the foreground color to this right there. And then we will simply hold Alt and drag up right around there. All right. All right, we're at just about 16 minutes in the video, and we're just about done. Okay, so now what I want to do is just kind of create at the bottom here a 5-day preview of the weather. So we're going to take, and this will be in a container, so I'm going to drag out here. We're going to change the opacity down quite a bit. I'll try 12%. All right. And we'll go ahead and we'll get started with the actual names here. And I'm just going to use abbreviated names for 5 days. So we'll start with Monday. And I want to scale this up real quick. And we're at light, or extra light. Let's change that to light. Maybe regular. All right, and we'll move this over so that we basically have 5 days. So let me go ahead and duplicate. You know what? We'll duplicate this after I have the first one here. So the icon. So basically, we're going to have icons for that will represent, what type of weather it's going to be. So let's say we wanted to create one real quickly for cloudy. So I'm going to zoom up here and hold Shift and select once there. And then this will be part of the cloud. And then we'll create another one up here holding Shift. Hit Control H. All right. And to illustrate this a little bit better, we'll right click, we'll duplicate that. And then we'll go to Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal, and hit Control T, scale that down just a little bit. And let me see what it looks like if it's this color. Nah, what we'll do is give it a stroke. So I'll just double click over here, go to stroke, change this down a lot, maybe around 3. Maybe drag it down just a tad. All right. So Monday will be cloudy. And then I want to scale that down just a tad bit. And we'll select all 3, move them down here in position. Now I'm going to hit Control G to group those. We'll just call this Monday. I'm going to duplicate that group. Is it TUE? My brain's not working. All right, and then Tuesday we can say it will be cloudy and rainy. So the way we can do that, we can just reuse this up here. So let me go to auto select layer. We'll duplicate that. And we'll drag this up and put that in Monday copy, which will actually be Tuesday. All right, drops. We'll move this down. Scale that down quite a bit. I think that looks fine right there. And let's duplicate this again. I'll select group. All right, and this time we can do one for a sunny day. So we'll auto select layer. I'm going to get rid of that and that and that. And we'll take the ellipse tool. And I'll come down here. We'll take the rounded rectangle tool and we'll kind of create sunshine rays. We'll duplicate that and we'll come down here. We'll just bring that. I hit Control E to merge those. Duplicate them again. Control T, hold Shift, and we'll take these and duplicate those both of those by hitting Control E, and then not duplicate, rather merge. Now we want to duplicate. Hit Control T. Oops, what am I doing? Yeah, now select them both, and if you want, you can make them out further or bring them in just a tad bit. All right, so that would be a sunny day. Actually, you know what? I don't like that. They're all just going to be even, so I'm not going to adjust those, so I undid that. All right, and then let's call this Wednesday. Let's take Monday and duplicate that. And we will duplicate that one more time. So they only get one nice sunny day. Fry. Okay, cool. All right. All right, so let me go ahead and just zoom out and see how this looks. And see if there's any changes I want to make to the layout here. So first, let me take all of these, put those in a new group by Control G, and then we'll call this 5-day. And then we have all these. Oops, we want to select all these layers, hit Control G, call this radial temp. Okay, so here is our template. Now, I don't like how things are spaced out. It kind of seems a little bit funky to me right now at this point. So I'm going to auto select group with the move tool, and I want to lock those layers. We don't want to select those. And if I take these, just move, oops. I'm going to select group. Oh, it's going to be a pain in the ass. I'll just take these three. Move that up slightly so we have even white space. And then I'll take the radial temp, move that up slightly. And I think that's pretty good to go for right there. So we can consider this complete. Now what I want to do is show you what this looks like, kind of like in an iPhone perspective view. So bring up the description below this video and you'll see a source or a credit to a link, and that is going to bring you to this page right here, pixieden.com, and they have this free 3D view of an iPhone PSD, and you could download it right here. It's a large download, so I did not include that in the project files for my site. So it's like 67 megs, but once you have it, you want to open that up. So I'm going to pause this and just get that opened on my computer. And this is what you're presented with. So if you take this group and drop it down, you'll see this right here called Your Screen. You want to double click on that and then just hit OK. And we'll go back to our original design, hit Control A, edit copy merged, and then select the top layer and just hit Control V, and that will paste that in. And then if you want, you don't have to, you can delete those layers, hit Control S to save, and there we go. So let me zoom up quite a bit. This is large, it's only 16.7% view right now. I'm going to zoom out. And then we could change the background down here to any number of these that they gave us to use, but I kind of just like this flat background right here. And there we go. That's a pretty quick, only 25 minutes design of a weather app, and it designed in the flat design trend. So hopefully you enjoyed this and you're able to learn a lot. And if you want to check out designcourse.com, please do so. I plan to have a course, a full paid course, along with certification for mobile app design. It's not done at the time of recording this, but if you're watching this a month or two or a year down the road, definitely check that out at designcourse.com. And as always, check us out on the various social media links that are in the description, and please like and follow us wherever you can. All right, I will see you tomorrow.